Good morning, folks out in Facebook land. I think I have something interesting for you today. Day 19 of quarantine here in Northern California. The whole world, we're just being remade. Before I get to it, today we are doing our first introduction to effigy breathwork. It's free at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. Feel free to join us. It's a chance to experience the breathwork without going into the full experience of it, and just tasting it and getting some sense of what it's about and the philosophy behind it. So I hope you'll join us for that. We're doing so many new things. I feel like for every new monumentally scary thing going on in the world, we're meeting it with some new monumental thing that I hope we'll look back on and go, oh, it started in March of 2020. So I'm pulling just one paragraph out of my book that I was reading out loud yesterday, and going to just talk a little bit about it. If anybody hears what I'm saying and then they want to comment, I'll keep going, but otherwise this will probably be a short one today. So it's in the context of me actually telling a story about my own life, and I was looking for the context in which to tell this to you. Well, I'll just read the quote. I just thought this I can pull this out on its own. I had a kind of an awakening and a discovery that came out of a painful situation that happened in my family, and after that time, that understanding made me realize I had to change my life. I had to change myself. So that's where I'm reading from. And the truth is, despite my burgeoning understanding, I simply had no process, no capacity to create what I needed for myself. I had seen the truth, but I learned that the truth is not all you need. The truth will give you the basis of liberation, but it will not set you free without a process that is the embodiment of and adherence to that truth. So I think that there are two things I want to share. The truth will set you free. That's my experience. Maybe I was born into this life to be a Sagittarius, and I had many experiences early in life about the pain of lies and deception. And hey, Tim, I see you're out there, so you know about this kind of thing. Like, you're in relationship, people. We're all doing the best we can, but we do inadvertently hurt people, and we often lie. People lie because in the context of relationship, it's very hard to tell people the absolute truth when your security and stability possibly is at stake. And there were these lies that went on in my family, and I talk about them, and once discovered, that I realized the truth sets you free. So it was this profound awakening in an instant to get information that, while hurt me, set me free. But what I go on to say, because I continually sort of litter into the book stories about myself, is that how an awakening is not a process. An awakening is not a way of living. And oftentimes, and I'm just putting this off to the side, that people who don't have a process tend to be more religious in what they say. They tend to be more conceptual, more big, and more grand. And I think the reason is that what religion does is it places this, and when I mean religion, all beliefs. Like when you say a big concept like, I don't know, forgiveness is the only way or something. I mean, all these concepts spiritually, they all have value. That's not the point, but that's different than a process. A process involves being able to do something with and live in an adherence to those principles, those discoveries. And so what I'm telling at this early part of my story is that I discovered this profound truth in my family that I didn't know, and it set me free. But I had no way to live the truth, so I suffered some more. And I kind of, Sarah's read the book, and I don't think she probably sees it the way I see it, but it's a book about my missteps to me, and there's nothing about it that makes me look wonderful, except that the point of it is to show you that I arrived at the work I did through my own experience, and that what I've come to see, and I'll just read the quote again for you so you can get that, that I had seen the truth, but I learned that the truth is not all you need. The truth will give you the basis of liberation. My book is called A Liberated Life. Give you the basis of liberation, but will not set you free without a process that is an embodiment of an adherence to that truth. So what I want to offer you today is that we're all truth holders. We're all sentient beings. We're all connected to God. We all have great wisdoms that are lying within us. Nobody's like stupid and doesn't know anything. Every human being has something, some story to tell, but also some wisdom that comes from it. And for those of us that work on ourselves in the path, we're on like these two opposite things. One is like we're trying to fix things that don't work, so sometimes we feel great inadequacy about that. And on the other side, we all have tremendous truth that is both helpful to us and to others. It's always shocking to me within the context of our immersions and our weekends, the brilliance that comes out of people's mouths who are working on themselves. Often while they're in the process of seeing themselves as not good enough, they shine this most beautiful light. But I think the thing is, having that truth and living it are so fundamentally, it's the distance between A to B. Knowing something and being able to live it as a way of life. And when I said, oftentimes people who are more religious or more conceptual don't have a process, is because living it involves making a lot of mistakes. Living it involves risk. Living it involves constantly coming in contact with your wound. So if you smoke weed every day because you don't like how you feel, then you're not developing a process. And that doesn't, and we've all done it. Like I've done those things too. So it's not like you're hopeless if you've ever done that, or if you drink or you binge watch Netflix and can't take yourself away from it. I remember when MTV came out, like, these 12 videos are terrible. Maybe the next one will be good. I was a TV addict when I was really young. And I think that, addiction or seceding ourselves to avoid dealing with it is the process of life. But when you begin to wake up, you have to realize that if you don't discipline yourself and train yourself to try to embody your truth, you're never going to fulfill your purpose. You're never even going to experience your life purpose. Experiencing your life purpose means that in every moment, and I say this for myself, I'm connected to that original wounding all the time. And I think that's the mystery and the hilarity of being a teacher, is that people just think that the most brilliant part of me is the only way I'm living. No, I feel I suffer all the time. And I'm always in contact with the little boy in me who wants to be part of the show. He's here right now Do you want to say hello? My comedian is very much connected to my inner 4-year-old. It's my inner 8-year-old. So I encourage you to make mistakes, and I'll just read the thing to you one more time. I had seen the truth, but I learned that the truth is not all you need. The truth will give you the basis of liberation, but it will not set you free without a process that is an embodiment of and adherence to that truth. So get out there today and be in contact with yourself and your wounds. I have a special guest date on Instagram at 1:30 Pacific time. We're going to process in public. If you have something you want to process and don't mind doing it in public, DM us on Instagram. If you have a question you want to ask and just want me to do this little thing here, it's exciting for me and my inner child to do with you. So just send us a note, and we'll do that. We'll be here every day. I will be here every day without fail. 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern on Facebook, and 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern on Instagram. All right. Have a great day out there. Be safe.